And who am I? That's not a secret I'll never tell. You know you love me. XOXO. Gossip Girl.
Spotted. Humana trying to look flawless, but at what cost? While you were busy getting your hair just right and making sure your skin was glowing, you were turning your bathroom into a water park. The planet called, and it's not so happy. Save some water, Humana. This could be your most thirsty look yet. XOXO, Gossip Girl.
Please. After what you did at the Kiss on Lips party last year, like I would ever live in the same house as you.
Hey, Upper East Siders. You know the saying. The more things evolve, the more they remain the same. But when it comes to the environment, evolving is more than inevitable. It's a wake-up call we can't ignore.
Let me drop some numbers on you. According to the EPA, over 7 million people fall ill from waterborne diseases each year. How much do you think that costs the U.S. healthcare system? A staggering $3 billion annually. Ouch. And with climate change turning up the heat, we're looking at more of those diseases and more expensive water treatment bills. And the clock's ticking. But don't think it stops here. Oh no, sweetheart, it gets worse. Agriculture, yes, the very thing that gives us those perfect Instagram-worthy avocado toasts, is contributing to the climate change. Rising emissions are messing with the planet's water cycle, which just so happens to be crucial for your Caesar salad's existence. By 2030, some of the most vulnerable places, South Asia and Southern Africa, it's not just about the food on your table, it's about the food insecurity that hits hard, where families are already hanging on by a thread. Malnutrition has become an issue in underdeveloped countries. Around 80% of the global population most vulnerable to crop failures and hunger due to climate change are in Africa, South Asia, and Southeast Asia, where farming families are often poor and highly vulnerable.
And while we're at it, let's talk biodiversity. Or should I say the lack of it? Less biodiversity means fewer plants, fewer animals, and fewer microorganisms to pollinate, clean our water, and keep our soil fertile. Let's think about it for a second. Without those beautiful creatures and critters, your local farm-to-table restaurant, they're in huge trouble. Water and food security are so intertwined that if one falls, then the other's going down with it. Spotted. Dainara trying to call out someone for being wasteful? How charming. But it looks like your garden's a little more wilted than you thought. Word on the street, those flowers you've been taking care of have been seriously neglected. Too busy worrying about someone else's overuse of water to notice that your Delilahs are gasping for life? Oops. Guess someone forgot to water the things that actually matter. XOXO, Gossip Girl. But it's not about what you have to do in the kitchen, darling. You really want to save the world, please start with the soil. Protect the ecosystems we still have left. If we don't start managing water better, our diets, and those crops you love so much, we will end up in bigger problems. The loss of biodiversity, well, that's the real killer. Without pollination, soil fertility, and water purification, we're all in deep trouble. Those pretty flowers in your vase, they need biodiversity to survive. According to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, land must remain productive to maintain food security as the population increases and the negative impacts of climate change on vegetation increase. This means there are limits to the contribution of land to addressing climate change. For instance, through the cultivation of energy crops and afforestation. It also takes time for trees and soils to store carbon effectively. Bioenergy needs to be carefully managed to avoid risks to food security, biodiversity, and land degradation.
And don't even get me started on the effects of climate change. Rising temperatures, droughts, floods, they're wreaking destruction on everything. That means that we have to rethink our food systems, change how we farm, and stop taking everything we have for granted. Sea level rise and storms threaten coastal farming communities by causing erosion, losing farmland and allowing saltwater to contaminate water supplies. Climate change is expected to make these problems worse. If the temperature rises by 2 degrees Celsius compared to before industrial times, it could double the number of people facing major river flooding each year, and triple or more the number of people affected by drought. The loss of biodiversity jeopardizes food and water security by disrupting vital ecosystem services like pollination, water purification, and soil fertility, making it harder to grow crops for a growing population.
Okay, let's talk about flora and fauna, shall we? Those beautiful, delicate ecosystems that keep us alive, whether it's the pollinators that love your precious organic gardens or the microorganisms that keep our water fresh and clean. Plants are migrating. Yes, you heard me right, migrating. Moving into areas that were once too cold. And animals, they're doing the same. Now let's be honest, it's not just about the animals. Plants too. They're being affected. Think about all those crop failures we talked about earlier. The more we lose biodiversity, the harder it becomes to grow what we need. Pollinators like bees, gone. Bye-bye avocado toast. Our world relies on a delicate balance of nature to feed us, clean our water, and keep our air breathable. Losing it means losing everything. As higher temperatures push species into new territories, they struggle to adapt. Some thrive. Others, well, they disappear, and with them, the resources we need as well. Now, it's not all bad news though. If we start working together, there are some ways we can protect what's left. Whether it's building green infrastructure like rain gardens and constructed wetlands, or ecological restoration to combat those pesky invasive species. As humans, we can build green infrastructure that can build more protection and further innovation for our plants that are sensitive and at risk when facing our climate. Although these infrastructures can allow them to become resilient towards these types of climate changes, which essentially lessens the issue of plants decreasing and being affected, we can decrease the use of pesticides and other dangerous chemicals that damage the soil and can be toxic to other organisms and even contaminate other freshwater sources that some animals drink, out of creating a domino effect and simply affecting everyone. Decreasing the use of it can stop this issue and ensure our animal and plant safety is protected on the long term.
So here's your challenge. Start today. Use your power. Learn about the local water quality, reduce waste, and support smart farming practices. EPA has some solutions up its sleeve. First, ditch the water waste and reduce runoff. Invest in climate-smart farming. Let's stop throwing away food like it's a runaway accessory. Start growing your own food and preserving the produce, as well as creating a compost bin to recycle organic waste into nutrient-rich soil for your garden. And when it comes to water security, reduce usage in your own home and take a moment to ensure that we are informed about our local water quality. The last thing anyone needs in their fancy New York penthouse is getting flooded because the old water treatment systems couldn't handle a storm.
It's all about creating a world where everyone, yes, even you Upper East Siders, that get to enjoy healthy, sustainable food and clean water. The truth finally catching up to everyone. You thought the loss of biodiversity was some far-off issue? Well, think again, darling. Without the right balance in nature, we're all facing a future with fewer crops, polluted water, and an increasingly unstable food supply. Pollination, soil fertility, and water purification, those aren't luxuries. They're essentials we can't afford to lose.
Climate change, invasive species, and a growing population. You can't ignore it any longer. If we don't protect what's left of our precious ecosystems, our future is going to be a whole lot more empty. So let's wake up, shall we? Before the garden's completely gone.
XOXO, Gossip Girl.